I told you, Dave. Hello. Hello, all three of you. Usual thing. Wait for people to turn up. Last one of the year, folks. Oh, yes, I have my microphone on. You may well have remembered I mentioned this in one of the parish notice boards. There's the microphone. Do the little thing, which Nikki got me. Not very good for voiceover, but hopefully for parish meetings from now on, you'll be able to hear me a bit better. Hopefully. Just going to pin it to my hoodie. Nikki will be joining us in a bit. I'm on my own to start with. We will be joined. This is the last one of the year, so make the most of it, people, because you ain't going to get another one of these until January, until you're on side of Christmas. Sorry? Move the microphone up, says Nikki. Okay. How about there? Is that any better? Just testing audio here. No? No better? Slightly? A bit more then. What an heck. I'm going to be wearing it on top of my head at this rate. Let's go there. In fact, that was not even pinned. I'm sure you all want to see this, by the way. Me trying to position a microphone about myself. How about that, Nikki? Is that better? It's like right up against... Okay, it's right up against my chin now. Okay, I'll remember that. Okay, we've got 9 people in now. Let's see who we've got. So we know we've got Dave. Hello, Dave. Richard Smith. Hello. Hello, Alice. Corey. Hello there. So, yeah, some of the regulars. Well done, Alice, yesterday for getting where the parish... Hang on.
It's not switched on.
It's not switched on? It's not switched on. Okay.
The audio's not coming through the microphone.
Ah, that might explain it. Okay. I'm not quite sure how to change it now. One second, guys. Just going to mess about with the audio because we've got obviously a new microphone these days, but the first time I've used it for this, the volume might be all the way down actually. Let's see if I can find it. Which I can't. Just 2 minutes, folks. I suspect the audio volume is all the way down. I'm just going to check the settings. Sound settings. One like equals one audio from Andy's mic. I like that. I like that a lot. Right. Microphone. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Right, we're abandoning the microphone, people. We'll have to sort it out another time. You'll have to just make do with the usual mic this time. I can't see what the problem is, why it's not working, but anyway. Okay, we've got 12 people in here now. Cracking stuff. Good. I would like a lot of people in this one, to be honest with you, because I've got quite a lot to talk about this time, including, you may have already seen what's on the agenda, Christmas giveaway, which I mentioned in a parish notice board episode a while ago. I spent most of today going through the vast pile of stuff that was under my desk where I sit here. It was quite the experience. It's like the Black Hole of Calcutta. All sorts of things under there. But the important things I was looking for were these sort of stuff that I've collected as I've travelled around. More than this, I'll show you in a minute what there is. Quite a lot of stuff, and that is what I'll be giving away in this Christmas giveaway. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to give it away yet, but Nikki will join me later and we'll go through it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. It's no good to me anymore because I've used it to make videos, and obviously the videos are now made, so I'm not going to use it again. So it's probably better off in sort of your hands as it is mine. So yeah, it's all pretty much ready and waiting to be given to somebody. I don't know who, but it will be given to somebody. So, okay. Good evening, Vincent. That bloke on Andy's dressing gown. It's not a dressing gown, it's an Oodie. It's one of these awesome things where you just put your arms in it and it's like a dressing gown, but it sort of has a hood as well. It's very warm, which is what we need in this weather, because it's apparently going to get really cold this week. It's cold enough already. It's kind of ironic considering that I'm going to Cold Hanworth on Saturday, one of the West Lindsey ones I'll be doing with Nikki with me. So hopefully we'll wrap up warm and we won't freeze. They were talking of snow, weren't they, earlier this week? But I think that's not happening now. At least I hope it's not. I don't mind walking around in the snow. It's just driving in it that's a bit sort of hit and miss. So, cold in winter. Shocking. Yes, absolutely, Dave. It is shocking. Cold in winter. Who'd have thought it? I tell you what, though, I'd much rather be cold than be blazing hot in the sun in the summer. Obviously, we all remember the 40-degree heat we had this summer. It was very uncomfortable, and I was having to film really early in the morning to avoid the heat, which obviously yes, because Nikki was with me. We were having to film really early in the morning to avoid the heat, and it was kind of difficult to plan where to go and when to do what because of that. But we managed it. That's why I'd rather be cold than hot. Mind you, you don't want to be too cold, do you? So yeah, I've had an interesting week this week. I've not filmed a great deal. I've started Amber Valley, so the first couple of those episodes will be out early next year. Nikki was at a wedding down there on Friday, so I took the opportunity to start Amber Valley off. So I did South Wingfield and Pentridge, and it was really, really interesting because obviously, if you know that area of Derbyshire, there's a very old ruined manor type house in South Wingfield, which is was the subject of the Tales from the Village Green, which you probably watched earlier, did you? But there's plenty more to South Wingfield than that. And then Pentridge has got an entirely different story altogether. You will enjoy that episode. It took me a while to make it, actually, because there's so much research that went into it. It was unbelievable. But I know people have been waiting for Amber Valley, so it's coming your way. It's coming your way. Incidentally, the only district of Derbyshire I haven't touched now is High Peak. High Peak. So, yeah, I will soon have a video in all the districts of Derbyshire. That's good. That's good. Right, I think we've got enough people in to start properly. So the first thing, like I said, on the agenda this month is the Christmas giveaway. So what I'm going to do first of all is show you the things that I'm going to give away. Like I said earlier, this is a collection of stuff that I've collected from various places. It's kind of a mishmash of things, but it's generally speaking just leaflets and guides and things. So I won't go through every single bit, but I'll give you an idea. So for a start, we've got a postcard here which tells you all about the Malt Kiln Farm Shop in Stretton-under-Foss in Warwickshire. It's only a postcard, but some interesting info on the back. I used that in the Stretton of the Foz episode. It was very helpful. This little leaflet came from Suffolk. This was when I was in Felixstowe. This is all about the Deben Peninsula. If you remember the River Deben, it's like a fold-out thing. We got this from Bordsea, I think it is, over the river. Where it was the place where we went across the Deben via the ferry, if you can remember that in the Felixstowe episode, and then came back about half an hour later after having some food in a cafe, which was very nice, by the way. So there's a leaflet there all about that. Then we've got, let's see, we've got a little bit of information about the Walks of Life Museum in Tuxford. There's a history trail here from Newton upon Derwent. There's a second thing to do with Newton upon Derwent, if I can find it in this lot. It's like a big map showing you the village and everything that's in it, basically. It's fantastic. Got a couple of church guides. This one is from Low Marnham, if you can remember that from the Basset Law episode. And that one's Fledborough, which is obviously just next door. Obviously made by the same people, you can tell by that. This one is Sudbury Courtyard. We've only just been there. That was part of our Derbyshire-Staffordshire trip. That's a good place to visit. Apparently, they don't get many visitors. So whoever wins this, spread the message to your friends. What else do we got? We've got one there about Hedon Cum-Upton or Hedon Cum-Upton. Another one for Tuxford. That's from Yarwell Mill. It's in Northamptonshire. I haven't actually done that episode yet, but that is a place we went camping a few years ago. So I thought I'd throw that in as well. There's one for Norrell in Newark and Sherwood. It's upside down. You get the point. And there's a few others which are similar. I mean, this one's all about Kate Greenaway and Ralston. I use that a lot in that episode. There's one about Selby Abbey. There's a few others. I'm not going to go through them all. And then they're all leaflets. And then we've got guides. Some of these are church guides. Let me see. That one is St. Nicholas Church in St. Nicholas at Wade in Kent. What else? Some of them are just like, they're not proper books. They're just like little leaflets. That one's the Church of St. Giles in Burnby. You'll see that in this week's East Riding episode because that's in the parish of Hayton. There's one there all about the War Memorial in Risley in Erewash. There's a guide to Holy Island, which I think a lot of people will be interested in. It's quite thick, that. We actually had to buy that, but I don't mind giving it away because obviously I've used it now. And Cresswell, which came out earlier this week. There's a guidebook for that somewhere in this lot, but not quite sure where it is. But there are plenty of these little guidebooks. There's loads. Plenty about Otley. We picked up no end in Otley. There's the Cresswell one. Nicky's just found it.
Cresswell's Curiosities.
Cresswell's Curiosities, yeah. Very helpful. So that's them. There's also this, which came from Denston. This is about Denston Hall's farm shop. That's in Staffordshire. That's one place we went on the Staffordshire trip. A few more guides for Selby. Here's that map I was talking about of Newton upon Derwent. I won't open it out because obviously it's quite big. you get the picture. And also, I'm going to throw these in as well. Obviously, I've been in the paper a couple of times, over the past 2 years. So I've done a couple of cuttings from the newspaper articles. There's one there. That one came from the Lincolnshire Echo. So you can have that as well. And then there's the one from the Guardian. This one here. We actually bought 2 copies of the Guardian when this article was put in. So I don't mind giving this one away because we've got another one to keep safe. So you can have that one if you didn't already. And then there's the article about me in this Townlands booklet as well. That's a magazine that covers some places in West Lindsey. I'm in there somewhere. And then lastly, if you're interested, when we were in Otley, we picked up a copy of the Wharfdale Observer. And
just as the Queen
it was
died.
just after the Queen had died. So obviously the front cover is
It's a tribute issue.
yeah, it is. Yeah, so I'll throw that in as well. So obviously I've not gone through everything there, but oh, I'm dropping things. Organisation is key. That is the mountain of paperwork, which you'll be aiming to get your hands on. And also, Trevor Halstead from Gainsborough Cycles gave me this when I did the Gainsborough episode. It's a water bottle, and you can see it's got Gainsborough Cycles on it. I've got no use for this, so you can have that as well. I'll throw that in as well. So there's quite a lot to win, effectively. So how are we going about getting this to some lucky person, Nikki?
You
What's
just said
the
that we put a post in each of the places, and you get one entry, and then we'll put them all on a spreadsheet and do a random number picker.
right? Okay, so there'll be a post on Facebook, there'll be a post on YouTube's community tab, and there'll be one in the Village People group. Put your name down for if you want to get your hands on this lot, and we'll put you all into a big list, and then we'll do a random.
Draw it for the last parish notice.
Yeah, on the last parish notice board of the year, I'll just put my hand in a pot, pick out a winner, and then you guys can enjoy that. Doesn't matter where you live, I will post it worldwide. If there's anybody out there who's not in the UK, it doesn't matter. I will post anywhere. So if you want to get your hands on what I've been reading and using to make the episodes, then you can. Let's have a look at some of the comments that have come in while I was rabbling about that.
Hi everybody, by the way. I have a nasty cough, so if you hear a sort of a hacking sound, it's just me.
We're blaming Hannah, aren't we?
I'm not blaming anybody.
Well, Hannah,
I'm blaming Whitney Houston, because when that music came on, we were all singing and dancing on Friday.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. Don't embarrass me, missus.
I'm not embarrassing you, I'm embarrassing me.
Ah, well, I don't know which is worse. Okay, let's see what people have said to that. How about some TVI beers? No. Beers. You know what? I'd love to throw some beer in, but I'm not quite.
We'll be able to post it.
I'm not quite at the stage yet where I've got my own beer. Although, considering I did make the Tagcaster episode earlier this year, I'm sure they could probably do something for me, but no. So, okay. Let's see, what else do we got? Was that The Guardian or a local paper? It was The Guardian, Dave. The actual Guardian. That was the article which if I can just find it again.
This photographer turned up at like 8 o'clock at night in the middle of the pandemic, mask on and a lot, just before Christmas last year.
There it is.
When, we were still sort of being very careful.
Yeah.
And that photograph was taken, hold it closer, was actually taken in pitch black.
Yes, they have some
Not
quite.
You can tell.
No, I mean he did a fairly good job of that, because obviously the only way you can tell it's nighttime is that the lights are on in the background. But of course he had this camera which could do this trickery, which makes it look like daytime, which was fantastic. It was quite an experience, because I'm sat on the wall outside my house there. It's quite a long way from where my feet are to the ground, and it's not the easiest wall to sit on. So I'm
because it's only got the little tiny coping stones at the top of the really small ones with a point.
Yeah. And so I was sat on there for a good 20-25 minutes thinking to myself, I'm going to fall off this. This guy better hurry up, or else I'm going to end up in a heap on the floor.
Neighbours were sticking their heads out the door going, what's going on?
It was an experience, I'll be honest with you. It was nerve-wracking but also exciting at the same time, because that Guardian episode was the sort of the catalyst for everything that followed, really. That is the reason I was on Channel 4, because obviously they got in contact with me on the back of that. It's obviously a reason why I've been on loads of radio shows as well. As soon as that hit the Guardian, loads of people jumped on the bandwagon, including a load of other media outlets and things. That seems to have slowed down a bit in the last couple of months.
Really?
The last time I was in a
breakfast
paper.
show, and
It was no.
Show.
The last time I was actually in any kind of media was the Newark Advertiser, but that was a couple of months ago. But yeah, it has slowed down a bit. Although it may increase again in the new year, because obviously I've got some new areas coming up. I started York. You've seen the first episode of Huntingdonshire. There's another one coming later this week. Northumberland got its first couple of episodes now. So there will be some more new areas. So you might see a bit more of me in the papers and in the news. I don't like to brag about it, if I'm being honest, because that's not my intention. Is to not, be all over the news and be mega famous. It never has been. It's always been to do this and complete the mission, as it were. It's not about people, seeing me as a famous person. I don't see myself as a famous person.
Well, you're not yet.
No, and I don't want that, to be honest. I'd rather just go around with the camera and just enjoy the villages I'm filming.
Yeah, but you want it to pay for itself in the same day as well, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a limit. There's a limit in it. There's fame and fortune can go to people's heads, and I'm not one of those people.
Well, the fortune side of it you could do with, so it keeps you on the road.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm not greedy, you know that. Anyway, so that's that. So I suppose a bit early, but we'll move on to the next thing.
Actually, will you comment first?
Yeah, go on then. Is Nikki a Yorkshire lass?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki's a Yorkshire lass. Yeah. Obviously, I'm from Lincolnshire. I mean, Yorkshire and Lincolnshire are quite close together, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Nikki's born and bred Yorkshire, but has lived in a few places.
I've lived in Buckinghamshire. I've lived in Essex.
Yep.
I lived in Sheffield for a while, even though that's still Yorkshire. It might as well be the other side of the world. Obviously, Rosalind, the town I was born and brought up in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
West Essex, Buckinghamshire.
Yeah, if you're wondering where in Essex, it was South Woodham Ferrers. Or as you call it, you've got an affectionate name for it?
No, I'm not saying that one here.
Are you not?
But a hidden comment about it.
Are they? We'll get rid of that one. Okay. I've learned so much by watching your videos. Thank you, Penny. Penny is one of the ones that watches like pretty much every single episode I put out. It's brilliant, actually. It's great to know there's always going to be one person at least that watches my stuff. So, right. Okay, we'll move on to the next thing, which is basically what your favourite bits of 2022 have been. I've been to 348 in total this year. Obviously, you haven't seen them all yet because there's still a few more to come before Christmas. But which ones have been your sort of favourite ones this year?
Can I start?
I've got mine, but yeah, of course you can start. Yeah, of course you can.
For me, it was Brighton, that windmill.
Yeah.
That was mine. I mean, obviously, I was there for that. But for me, definitely, it was Brighton.
It was, yeah.
I'd go back there again in a heartbeat.
It kind of happened rather randomly, that, because
unexpectedly.
It was because, I mean, if you're familiar with Brighton, you'll know it's a linear village, and there's not really a circular walk apart from a footpath which runs from Brighton Ice Cream back to where I parked the car just off the A159. And so when I looked at the map, that's the route I planned. I would walk down the road and come back down the footpath, knowing, of course, that I would pass the windmill, which would be...
Yeah, because you'd already told me that you'd pass the windmill.
I mean, I knew I was going to pass the windmill. That's fine. But I didn't expect for when we got to the windmill for the owners to be sort of outside and doing whatever they were doing. And then before we know it, we were invited inside to have a look at the old workings and to go up to the top. I mean,
you went up the top.
I mean, yeah, obviously Nikki didn't go up. I did. It was
I just sat and had a look inside at this amazing windmill and had a lovely chat with the lady who was there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we kind of disrupted what they were doing for about 10-20 minutes, but they didn't seem to mind, quite frankly, which is weird. So, oh, hello, Lauren. Lauren's come to join us. Do you have a favourite episode this year, Lauren?
No.
No?
I don't really watch many videos.
You've been in a couple, though.
Did you enjoy making the episodes that you did? Get off the back of this chair.
Yes.
Lauren, I think Lauren's best one was probably Blunderston in East Suffolk, if you can remember that one, where I kind of embarrassed you because you didn't know who Charles Darwin was. But it was not Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens. I mean Charles Dickens.
Who is he again?
He's an author. It's one of them face palm moments, isn't it? It's an author. You should know that. You really should. For you, it's for Dave Birch. It's got to be Summer Leighton, as I love that area. Also, obviously in Suffolk,
Some further ones up further up.
there are, yes, indeed.
Yorkshire and Lincolnshire ones.
All
of them.
All of them. Hey, that's a fantastic compliment, Richard. Thank you very much.
Northamptonshire.
The Barbie, Kilsby, Yelvertoft, Lilburn.
They were done on the hottest days of the year.
Yeah, it cooled down when we did the Northamptonshire leg. The Leicestershire leg and the Warwickshire leg, they were
still pretty damn hot.
They were the hottest, but it had cooled down a bit for Northamptonshire, so we could appreciate it more. I mean, even though I'm not saying we didn't appreciate Warwickshire and Leicestershire, of course.
Huntingdonshire,
of course
looking
we did.
good too. Well, do you know what? There's some good stuff coming up to Huntingdonshire, isn't there?
Yes. Obviously, Stilton's out already. You'll see Folkesworth and Washingley on Thursday.
And just to link into Vincent's comment, random unplanned days always end up being the best ones. We've got another random one coming up in Huntingdonshire.
Random one?
One that we didn't plan, but we still did it anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that's coming out on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So
Next one.
Yeah.
We don't really like housing within sea, no.
No. I considered it. Nikki was in the amusements at the time. lost her in the two-piece lots, which was it's normal that when we get to the seaside, there's a guarantee that Nikki will always look for the two-piece lots because
Yeah.
I don't want to say you're a big kid, but you're a big kid. You're a big kid, yeah.
You can't deny you're a big
And
kid
get
also,
off the back of this chair, Lauren. Come on.
I do apologise for our youngest.
I'm looking to move down there now from watching your videos. That's James. They're looking to move down from Northamptonshire, Huntingdonshire, sort of, that sort of area.
Oh, cool.
It's a lovely part of the world.
It is.
You will love it.
And
we've enjoyed every trip down there so far. And if you don't get off this chair, I'm going to kill you. I'm not on the chair.
All right, Lauren, come on. So, one thing I find about Northamptonshire, just on the back of that, is every time we go to Northamptonshire, we always seem to make people feel welcome, if you know what I mean. It's one of those counties where the people are they're happy to talk to you, they're happy to interact with you. There are certain areas of the country where you go there and people don't want to know you. You know, they're like, I'll be myself, you be yourself, and never the twain shall meet. But it's not the case in Northamptonshire. They're always welcoming, and they always want to. They've got a vested interest in you, if you know what I mean.
People are more curious, I think, as well about what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, there are obvious differences between Yorkshire and Lincolnshire, and I know that because I'm a Lincolnshire boy living in Yorkshire. I mean, the biggest thing for me is that Yorkshire folk are sort of the same as Northamptonshire. They always want to say hello to you. They always want to talk to you and get to know you and that kind of thing. It's not the same in Lincolnshire. You know, we're a bit more sort of a reclusive kind of species, I suppose. You know, we like to keep ourselves to ourselves, and that's one thing I have definitely noticed from living in Yorkshire for this long. Don't know whether you guys have. But...
I think what's really nice about the videos as well is that they show the differences as well. You know, north to south, county to county. You know, the differences between areas of this country. We're all living in what is Great Britain, really. Sort of technically, is quite a small space in the grand scheme of things. And it can be so different just passing over one border. It can make a huge difference on what you see, on what you learn, what you find out. Even the stuff that we buy, the TVI pounds. We've gone to sort of places where we've got like a jar of jam and 6 eggs, but then we've gone to other places where we've got fresh baked goods and we've got meat and and so on and so forth, and use the local shops. And we've even bought like gifts and things from local shops. So it's been really nice, just even from that perspective, to see such a difference. And I've kind of come to me personally. I've kind of come to the conclusion now that when I go out with Andy, don't have anything preconceived. Expect the unexpected, because literally no two places, no two areas, no two things are the same.
Yeah, pretty much. The reason I was laughing there is because Richard Smith has just said, "What do you call a bread cake in Lincolnshire?"
Oh, crikey.
Well, it's not a bread cake. I'll tell you that for a fact. You've opened a can of worms there, Richard. You really have. It's one of them things, isn't it, which varies depending on where in the country you are. Now,
Yeah.
I've always called it a bread bun, and I always will call it a bread bun. It will never be anything else. A bread cake to me is meaningless because a cake, as far as I'm concerned, is made with sponge and icing and jam or whatever in the middle. That's a cake. And a bun, Yorkshire folk call little cupcakes buns, but they're cakes as well to me. So
yeah, but then again, lunch is dinner and dinner's tea.
This is something that varies. It's one of the things that varies all over the country.
Yeah.
There are plenty of things like that, and this is kind of what makes us all unique in a way. We're all British, but we're so different in the sort of background we have, depending on which bit of this fantastic nation we come from. I mean, me and Nikki were having a conversation in the car the other day about scones. Do you put the cream and the jam on first, or do you put the jam and then the cream? Obviously, one's Devon, one's Cornwall.
I come up with a solution.
I can never remember which way round it is, but I suppose when I get that far to south, I'll know.
I've come up with a solution, and I heard this somewhere. I think it was Babe Meets Steve I heard it from. So what you do, if you can't decide if it's jam or cream first, you get a scone, you cut it in half, you put jam on one side, you put cream on the other,
And
you
just
slap the
slap
two
them
halves
together.
together, and then whichever way you eat it, you're either Devon or Cornwall.
Yeah, so you can be a mixture of both. So sitting on the fence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole reason that conversation came about is because we were talking about obviously hitting every county next year, and I was talking to Nikki about potentially staying somewhere on the Devon and Cornwall border so I can catch those two, and that's how the whole scone thing came about. Because I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to try the Cornish way one day, the Devon way another day, and then see which one's better. They'll probably taste the same, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, they all go out the same order, aren't they?
I suppose. So
Somebody actually posed a great question. I don't know if anybody here has ever been on Slimming World. If you have a banana on Slimming World, it's free, no sins or anything. If you have
farm cake.
A whole banana, it's free. If you have a chopped banana, it's free. But if you mash your banana, it's all of a sudden there's so many sins. So how come a whole banana isn't sins when you eat it, you're mashing it? How's that work?
I'm just reading this conversation about bread cakes now and buns and that. So we've got cobs in Derbyshire. Yeah, I've heard that a few times in Derbyshire. Muffins in Lancashire. Now, I thought Lancashire they were called barn cakes.
What about stotties?
I think that's not a Lancashire thing. I think stotties is sort of Midlands, isn't it? Somewhere in the West Midlands, I think. I don't think it's a Lancashire thing.
I'm taking the fifth on your last question, Dave.
Which one?
Put the jam on cream on the top part or bottom part.
Don't complicate it. Don't complicate it. I'll tell you what we'll do. When we get to Devon and Cornwall, we will try them both ways. Well, I'll make sure I film them, and I'll tell you which way is definitively the best. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same.
I think it's going to be an honourable draw, if I'm honest.
Probably, yeah. But the thing is, Cornwall will always say they're better. Devon will always say they're better. So Doesn't matter much.
His
does it?
hand comes flying out towards me much more. I'm going to please stop, bugger off.
These parish meetings are fun, aren't they? Because it's basically just me talking and waving my arms about and Nicky getting frustrated about it.
Go on.
You guys obviously like it, so long may these continue into the new year. So, speaking of continuing into the new year, the next thing on the agenda is the changes for 2023. I mean, you already know that the picture bit's going.
If you watch
the latest parish notice board, it's for the same reason as the script issue I was talking. I mean, like I said, writing doesn't come naturally to me. It was taking too long. I was writing scripts, and they weren't bad. It's just that they were very laborious and taking me ages. So obviously I've tried to cut that down a bit. The first sort of batch of videos for 23 feel better, they look better, and they didn't take as long to make. And part of the reason for that is obviously cutting the script down, but another reason is not having the picture bit in, because I was spending a long time in some places searching for pictures, which was ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure though that if I know it might be a stretch, but if it did ever become warranted to have some pictures in it, you'd sort of resurrect the picture bit, wouldn't you?
Well, this is part of the changes, because one thing that I am going to do, and I have done in a couple of episodes so far for 23. If there's a part which requires a lot of picturey stuff, it's going to be called the special section. Like, for example, there's one of the Staffordshire episodes which has a special section all about a sculpture, which we didn't get very close to because even though it's alongside the road, there isn't really a way to walk to it. So I've given that an entire section all by itself, and it's all pictures from the internet, and that's easier than a picture bit, because obviously I'm searching for one thing and I can get multiple images for it, and it worked. Didn't take me long to write it. Fantastic. But of course, not every episode will have that. Generally speaking, though, they'll all follow this sort of newish format, where I'll be still walking around a route, and everything will still be in order like it is now. It's just it will be split up into more discernible chunks, and there will be a definite end to each chunk, because it will fade out and then fade into the next bit. At the minute you don't get that, it's kind of all in one great big hit. Even though I've planned in my head where the breaks are, you can't see that. You will be able to see that in these new episodes, because, like I said, there'll be a definite end to a section and a definite beginning to a section. Part of that is there will be titles across the screen. Depending on what I'm doing at the time, it'll be either a main walk, part 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. There's occasionally a short walk, like if I've got a little settlement that I go to, which is not the main village, that'll be called a short walk. Driving sections will just be called driving. Then there's other little bits which I'll talk about later, but it makes a lot more sense, and it's much easier to make them in this format than it was the format I was using previously. It's not too dissimilar, so it's not a complete overhaul, but it just seems to flow better, and it seems to make more sense, and it's easier to make. So win-win. Win-win. And of course, they're no less informative either, because I don't like to skimp you on information. So hopefully it will make sense to you. But of course, the picture bit is one thing that's had to go, I'm afraid. A few people were sad about that, but all for improvement. I'm all for improvement, and I think I have improved greatly since the beginning, a long time ago, when I filmed my first video. Has everybody here watched my first video, by the way, or is it just one of those things that you just this guy's been at it for a while, it's not really worth watching his first episode? If you do, you're in for a shock, because it's bloody rubbish.
Yeah, it's come a long way.
yeah, put it this way, you can barely hear me talking in the episode because I didn't have a clue how to use the audio features in the editor. So I'm basically trying to talk over the music and it doesn't work. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Okay. What is the first episode? Yeah, if you don't know, it's Harthill with Woodall. Rotherham episode number 1, because I started with Rotherham, and yeah.
We couldn't go any further because of lockdown.
No, that's true. Obviously, those that have been following a while will know this, but yeah, Rotherham was where I started because obviously it's where I live, and I started during the lockdown, and we couldn't go very far. But of course, as soon as that lifted, you know, Bob's your uncle. I was off. I was off going all different kinds of places, and loads more different places to come as well. So I think that's just about it for what I had on the agenda. To be honest,
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else to talk about. So we've still got 20 minutes left. So I suppose it's over to you guys now. You know, let's have a general chat for 20 minutes and see what we can end up talking about.
No more jam and cream.
No more jam and cream. Do you know, you're making me want a jam and cream scone now. They say
Not as the day till Wednesday.
advertising works. I don't know. Has everybody been watching the World Cup, by the way?
Oh, football. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there were some football fans out there.
Beats me cold.
Well, I've been watching it sporadically. I've not been watching it religiously like I have done in previous years. But you know, obviously I've kept up with it, and I know who's still in and who isn't, and, you know, and where the shocks have been. No shock for England, thankfully, last night. If you've not seen it, we did win. So,
Cotton Power Station scheduled for demo next year. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Cotton Power Station going to be demolished.
Plans for Christmas? Yes. Andy's parents and my stepdad will be joining us. And because Christmas Eve falls on a Saturday, I won't be working for the first time in a number of years.
How was Amber Valley when you went to film? Plus the Tales of the Village Green episode was really good earlier. Amber Valley's great. It's hilly.
I had no clue because I was getting drunk at a wedding.
You weren't drunk.
Well, I was trying to get drunk.
You were having a dance on the dance floor. That's about it, really.
That's how I lost my voice.
Blame what? Blame the drink.
Blame Whitney Houston.
Yeah, while Nikki was at the wedding. While Nikki was at the wedding, I was busy filming.
I had a dress on and everything.
So, yeah, you looked all right.
Thanks.
You did. You looked fine. No, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I'm not covering myself in glory this month, am I?
What else we got?
Oh, dear. Oh, I will just mention this, by the way. I've just remembered. A lot of episodes coming up obviously feature me as I am now, including this hair of mine, which needs a blooming cut. But it's not going to get cut anytime soon. So yeah, my hair might look a bit crazy in a few episodes.
Mine looks a bit shit. Because I need to find me to cut.
It's a bit long. Oi!
What?
You just swore. You did.
I said shit.
Family channel, Nikki. Family channel.
Andy, when you put out videos, you put them all as not made for kids.
Yeah, I know.
So I can say if I want.
For all I know, there might be kids watching them.
Oh, well.
I don't know. Let's see. Did I do Ripley? No, I didn't do Ripley. Just South Wingfield and Pentridge is what I did when I was down there in Amber Valley. There are 35 in Amber Valley, so when that's a series of its own, obviously they'll all get done in due course, but that's not going to start properly as a series until North East Lincolnshire is done, and it's not even started yet because that's coming after North Lincolnshire is done.
Yeah, quick recommendation though, do not recommend, not out of 10, do not recommend the Travelodge at Alfredton.
It's Old Swanwick Colliery.
Do not recommend. You know, I kept up because some flipping bloke was digging a hole and pumping water out in the flaming.
There was something. Yeah, there was something outside the room, wasn't there, keeping us awake?
Keeping us awake, pumping out water, and
So
and then the people above decided that 2 a.m. was a good time to walk around their room.
let's have a look.
Oh dear, what's been up, Vincent? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good.
Not like me, poorly sick and dying, coughing and sputtering. I've been on the phones today. Yeah, I might do. I've been on the phones today for work, and I've been like, mute button every 2 minutes. Mute button. Oh, God, it's been horrible.
Yes, Alfreton's a nice little town, Jamie. I haven't seen much of it yet. I'm not familiar with it, so did have to drive through it though on Friday, so yeah, I've seen a bit of it.
Tell you what else was a nice little town when we went down there, although it's not been filmed for the channels yet, apart from the Tales film, and that was Utoxeter.
Yes, Utoxeter, yeah.
Market town, lovely buildings, you know,
Yeah,
all
all kinds of stuff. So, we got it.
Hide that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just really nice. There was some lovely stuff to see. There were, I mean, we weren't sort of there. We weren't terribly busy, but it was just pretty.
Pulled a muscle in his back, apparently, Nikki.
Oh God!
Vincent.
I know that feeling, Vincent. I coughed this morning. I think I pulled one in mine.
Nothing coffee can't fix, though.
And painkillers.
Nikki does like a coffee, doesn't you?
What do you mean?
Okay, several cups of coffee.
My route planning when Andy takes me out on a Saturday filming includes: is there a Starbucks on the route?
Or someplace you can get a coffee. Not necessarily a Starbucks. I mean, Costa has been used a few times.
Yeah, Costa's been used.
Greg's has
even
been
Greg's
used.
and McDonald's.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Then on Saturday there is no Starbucks. There is no Costa. If you know that area of West Lindsey, you'll know as well as I do.
We have to go to the M18.
No. No.
There's one a mile away down the hill. We're going there.
All right, if you say so, boss. Yeah, if you say so. Well, if there is a Starbucks or a Costa out there, Dunholm, Welton, Hackthorne, Cold Amworth, just so you know, then I don't know. It must be a new one, but
there is one. I'll find it.
Yeah.
Dave's had a sore throat and cough this last week, so evening easy. Oh Christ, it's going to last a week.
Nice to see the York series has started. Yeah, well, it's going to continue tomorrow, Martin, because I'll be up in York tomorrow and I'll be knocking off another batch of them. The plan with York, because it's 31 all around a central unparished area, it's quite handy actually. The plan was to go sort of in an anti-clockwise sort of fashion, starting with Skelton, which you've already seen, and coming all the way around to whatever the one is that borders it to the east. That's not quite going to happen because I've got plans involving some of the ones that border the east riding, because it's easier for just me to catch those together with some others. So it won't quite be the whole anti-clockwise circle thing, but it'll be fairly close. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of York actually. 3 down, 28 to go. You've only seen one up to now, though. So, it's very busy with Christmas markets on in New York. Oh, Lincoln Christmas market. Is there anybody in from Lincolnshire?
Apparently, it's just someone gone Pete Tong with it.
Oh yeah.
They've had to have crowd control at a Christmas market.
I think I read something that it had 300,000 people in one day, but I think it's because it's the 40th anniversary of it. And so obviously there's going to be a crush because people want to. I've even though I'm from Lincoln, I've never been to the Christmas market. I don't know why. I just never have. It's not something that I've been interested in.
I think Christmas markets are taking a bit of a battering this year because Sheffield's been pretty much denounced as rubbish. Manchester's one has been denounced as all food and drink stalls and no actual Christmas goods this year. And then Lincoln's, it was a blooming scrum by the sounds of things. So Christmas markets are definitely not, a highlight this year, are they? So
no.
Forget about Christmas markets. Watch another half a dozen episodes of TVI instead. Spend your time better and order online.
Hey, you know what?
Keep courier in business.
There's nothing like promotion. Apparently,
I'm a master of promotion.
Yeah, well, I say you tell me all the time that I don't promote myself enough. I think I do, but here is the master of promotion. Apparently, people.
Like I say, we like these houses. They look lovely. We've moved there definitely. Donations. Buy me a coffee, Ko-fi, thanks button, super thanks, all of that stuff. But it's like we've always said, the best way and the free way to do it, it doesn't cost you guys a thing, is by liking, subscribing, share a video or two, watch a video, an extra couple of videos. Not everything might be a cup of tea, but it all helps. And if you see an advert, I know that we've had a discussion about adverts this week. The adverts are there to provide an income for the channel.
Yeah.
Although they are going to be limited, the adverts are there. They do provide an income. So they're all annoying, and I get that, but bear with it. And comments, yes, absolutely, Dave. Comments work too. So yes, whatever we can do to help us with the algorithm to get it out there and a bit more noticed, fantastic. It's free to subscribe. There's no Patreon, there's no join or anything like that. All we're doing at this stage is asking for your support by clicking a button, ringing a bell, and watching a video. Stick a playlist on and go and do washing up. We don't mind.
Dave, to answer your question about Acaster Malbis, yes, it is. It is on the York list. It won't be done anytime in the near future, but it will be done, obviously, during the York series at some point.
Can I just interrupt and say to Damn It Sam, yes, you can unsubscribe at any time, but that's not helpful, and we're here to support the channel, not to unsubscribe.
Have you been to Mr. Straw's house in Worksop? No. I've no idea what that is, actually. Obviously, Worksop's an unparished area, and Bassetlaw is completely finished. So I don't know what that is. If you want to enlighten me as to what Mr. Straw's house is.
Jamie's saying there as well, is there any parish that you've done you didn't want to finish?
That I didn't want to finish.
Yeah, due to the kindness or, going with the people, it being a nice area, that kind of thing. Is there any that you're going to miss now that they're done?
Nothing springs to mind, I'll be honest. There's no place I've been to where I wouldn't go back for whatever reason. Obviously not to film it because it's already got an episode, but I can't think of anywhere where I wouldn't want to go to again. With maybe the one exception, which you probably all know about by now, and that's East Drayton. But only because of that blooming proper village of you, but he nearly chased me out of it.
Don't know about that.
Don't you? Do you not know this story?
No.
Oh, Nikki, this was ages ago. You were, I think,
Probably working.
No, you were in London with one of the girls. Don't know which one. So this is for the benefit of Nikki as well. If you haven't heard this story, I'll tell you. So East Drayton in Bassetlaw, it was one of 6 I did in the same day. I think it was the second one I did. And basically, I planned my route. I'd walked around the village, and I was almost back at the car. I was almost at the end of the village. All I had left to do was film the village hall and a couple of bits and bobs around that. And then the car was literally just round the corner, parked outside the church. If you know East Drayton, you'll know the lie of the land. If not, watch the video. And, I didn't have very far to go back to the car. And I was just in the village hall car park with the camera trained on the village hall sign. And I hear this noise to my left. And this guy was peering over his fence. And he basically asked me what I was doing. Now, obviously, I get this kind of question a lot everywhere I go. So, nothing out of the ordinary. I told him what the deal was, making a video about East Drayton, be part of the Bassetlaw series, told him about the channel, all that gubbins. And usually when you tell people that, they're like, oh, really? That's great. Where can I find you and all this? Not with this guy. This guy basically accused me of supplying videos to criminals. Supplying videos to criminals. The whole sort of crux of his argument was that there had been a car stolen. I don't know whether it was his or a neighbour's or whatever, but someone who lived close to him. And he thought I was the guy who was showing people around the village so they could see what's there in order to go and nick cars or whatever else. And he wouldn't have it that this was a genuine, project or whatever.
Probably eating his words now if he's seen you on the telly or in the paper.
I was so shook up by it. At the end of the video, you can see there's a shot where just before I get back in the car, I speak to the camera, and you can see that I am proper aghast. I'm actually literally shaking because this guy shook me up so bad. And so that's where the episode ended. I mean, the planned ending I had was to go to an old windmill or find this old windmill, because I'm not even sure where it is, to be honest. But that was the sort of mission for the end of the episode. I didn't do that because I just wanted to get out of the place. So hopped in the car, bam, straight to the next village. Didn't even consider going back. I was later to learn that this guy had done this before to other people, so I wasn't the first. And he has a nickname. He goes by the name of Asbo. And basically, when I put the video out, I didn't share it in there's an East Drayton group on Facebook. Normally, I would share the relevant video in the relevant Facebook group. Didn't share it purposely in there just in case he was in it. Left it for a while. A couple of weeks later, someone else had found it in a different group and shared it into it. And then I got a barrage of messages basically saying, oh, ignore him. It's Asbo. He does this all the time. Come back, we'll give you a free pint in the pub and all this stuff. And the general outpouring of support I got from the residents was really good. It made me feel, it's just one person. It's not the views of the entire place, which was good. I still haven't been back, though. So, I mean, obviously...
It's a good job I weren't there.
God, Nikki, if you were
because
there...
I tell you what, it wouldn't have been him that'd be Asbo, it'd be me, it'd be the resto.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, East Drayton, it's still up. It's not going anywhere. Every episode I've ever made is still up. So if you want to go and find it and watch it, you can see. I mean, obviously, you don't see the guy in question because obviously you think you've got 11 minutes of normal village video, if you like, and then at that point, it goes all weird at that point, and it cuts to a shot of me upstairs in my bedroom explaining what went on. So yeah, if you want to go and find it and watch it, it's there. Go and see it. But that's the only time I've ever felt unwelcome somewhere, to be honest with you.
Show that message on there.
Which one?
Jamie?
Yeah.
The GoPro, I am off out on Saturday. So the next churchyard video will be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I was hoping to do something different, but unfortunately the plan got scuppered. And when you see the episodes that have come out from the Staffordshire series, you'll see why. What I was planning to do was to actually visit inside something that I couldn't. But I don't just want to sort of, I mean, I know churchyards are very popular, but I don't just want to do churchyards. I want to do other stuff as well.
I'm smiling because I know what this is about.
Yeah. So when the Staffordshire video Concerned comes out, the Marchington video, it'll kind of be a bit more explained on there. So yeah, the GoPro is in here. It's ready to go. I have my little bag.
Nikki's is the Hero 9, by the way, GoPro. Mine's the Hero 8, the one before it. To be honest, there's not a great deal of difference between the two. Hers is a little bit bigger, and the batteries are bigger. There's mine. And as you can see, the GoPro 9 is slightly bigger. And it has a forward-facing camera as well.
Yeah, forward-facing
this
camera.
One doesn't. But to be honest with you, this thing has served me well. and I'm not about to try and upgrade it or anything like that. I don't want to be honest.
And I've still got the protective film over it because I don't want it scratching and bashing up like this is.
Mine's not bashed that much. It's got a
It's got a crack on it. It's got dings on it.
I don't know whether you can see this. It's got a crack across the back of the screen, but it doesn't affect, the handling of it. GoPros are designed to be very robust things. They're meant to be for adventures and things. So they're designed not to break, basically. I mean, if anyone watches How Ridiculous, it's an Australian channel where they do all sorts of crazy stuff, dropping things off towers and out of helicopters and stuff like that. And the amount of GoPros they sort of bash and squash and do all sorts of things with.
Helicopters.
You're going to reveal your Christmas gift?
Should I? Nikki has just asked me, should I reveal my Christmas gift? Or I'm just thinking, do I reveal it now or do I wait?
Well, maybe first parish meeting of the new year.
All right then, because officially I haven't had it yet because it's not Christmas yet.
You know it.
I do know it, yeah, and it's going to be good. You guys will see what it is in due course. So yeah, that's something to look forward to then in January. I will tell you what my Christmas present is from this one right here, and yeah, it's something that you guys can look forward to because it will be featured right here on the channel.
Yes, yeah, I had the idea about it, ran with it, and the idea has, is going to definitely be, it's definitely going to be a part of the channel.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
I'm quite excited for it, actually.
Dave, good guess. But I'm not telling you. There's more to it. There's more to it than that. There's more to it than that.
There's quite a bit to it.
Yeah. Anyway, the hour is up. We are at 8 o'clock, just about, which means that's the end for not just this month, but also for parish meetings for the year. I honestly think these have been a really good addition to the TVI sort of journey, as it were. When I came up with the idea to do a live stream every month, I'm so pleased that you guys have been so
it's been nice to see consistent people who have joined them as well, and thank you for
that. And obviously they're not going anywhere. These will carry on into the new year. You'll see me again in January. First Monday in January is actually the 2nd, isn't it? 2nd. May not do one on the first week back. I might delay it a couple of days, or maybe until the next week. Obviously, I think everybody will still be a little bit stuffed with cheese and wine and whatever else you have at Christmas time. so
I think all that's really left is at this moment is, because this is the last live, to wish people a very happy Christmas. More than anything, and to stay safe and stay healthy into the new year. And we'll definitely see people in 2023.
And you heard this here first. That one over there is going to be featuring more next year, because I'm going to drag her with me, because I know you guys like seeing the girls. I'll never get Victoria on camera. I reluctantly sometimes get Hannah, but Lauren is always willing to be on the camera, so I will definitely make sure Lauren features. Lauren will feature some more.
So definitely wishing everybody out there all the best.
Yeah, me too.
Don't get too drunk.
Don't get too drunk.
Don't eat too much cheese.
Okay.
And like I said, stay safe and stay healthy more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we're sort of out of the lockdown periods now, but things like COVID are still around.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to take just a little bit of care. Go out and enjoy yourselves, and do whatever you have to do, but do try and stay safe and stay well.
Yeah, that seems a good enough message. So there's obviously a few more episodes to come before Christmas, plus the Christmas special
and the extra one
and the extra. Yeah, that's on New Year's Day. There are 2 more parish notice boards to make, and that'll be a lot for 22. So until January, parish meeting wise at least, we're off.
Right.
Thank you very much for joining us again, people, and I'll see you next year.
And we're out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.